Hey there everybody, my name is Keno and welcome back to our Montreal Canadiens franchise mode series. Now, I want to quickly address that I wish I hadn't let the EA Sports voodoo and curse weigh so heavily on last video. Last video was a roaring success if we think about it. 53 win season, a sweep in the first round of the playoffs against the Tampa Bay Lightning, dominant performances by some of our young players and some of our players that we are attributing our core to, our players that are going to be the foundation of this team for a long time to come, like Cole Caulfield, his 7-point performance. What a resurgence for him, and I was worried after that 60-goal season that we wouldn't see that again. Maybe we won't, but at least we'll see some signs of dominance from the 5'8" winger. Juraj Slafkovsky, what a coming of age for him. A 74-point season with 43 goals, followed by 6 points in 4 playoff games. Absolutely great. Elias Pettersson, for a $13.5 million forward, 4 points in 4 games is somehow underwhelming, but it's still, he's the reason that Slafkovsky did so good and exploded as much as he did. And then Lane Hudson, quietly, no goals, but 7 assists in 4 games. There was a lot to be proud of in that video there that I just let EA overshadow for me. And even Caden Primo, 954 save percentage through 4 games, unbeatable goaltender. And now we're sitting here on the verge of the second round with home ice advantage over the Toronto Maple Leafs, looking for revenge after our first playoff appearance against them in this series. And I think I'm hopeful, guys. I'm hopeful that we have it. Let's take a look at what we're up against. But could they really have that much better of a team than us? Yes, they have Matthews and Marner, but what else do they really have? Oh yeah, Nylander, I guess. But they do have Nylander, Matthews, and Marner again on that top line, and they've done pretty well so far. Bertuzzi, Tavares, and Nyes on that second line. Liesel, who's done great, with Robertson and Camp on the third line, and then Jones, Gustafsson, Fabry on that fourth line. That's a pretty deep forward core. I might have to take my words back. That's almost as equally deep as we are. If I had Fog of War off, then we could actually see accurately what it is. And then defensively, they got Liljegren and Riley on that top pair, Kokkonen and Carrier on the second pair, and Carrier has done fairly well for them in these playoffs. And then Kulikov, Borgren on that third pair. Where's Topi Niemela? Has he just not made it? Oh, he's injured. Okay, so that's, hopefully he's out for this entire round. They also have Ekholm, Murphy, and Paling as scratches. And then goaltenders, Joseph Woll, who was struggling through that first round, with Felix Sandstrom, who just came in relief in 1 game. So, let me put it this way. Our goaltending is pretty much on par. I'd say we're actually right on par, right on level with each other. With Woll against Primo and Rodrigue with Sandstrom, or even the flip side, it's accurately fair there. Defensively, I think we have the edge. I think we definitely have the edge. They have Riley, who could actually be a 90 overall. We've got Hudson and Reinbacher. We've got a lot of power. We've got Gooley as well. We've got Barron. We've got Jacky. We've got Justin Falk. We've got a really good top 6, and I think that beats them. And then our top 6 forwards, I think they match up pretty fairly with Matthews, Marner, Nylander, and Tavares, and Bertuzzi and Nyes. I feel like it's a wash. I feel like offensively it's a wash. Defensively, we have the edge, and goaltending, it's a wash. But we'll have to see what happens here at the Bell Center in Montreal for this first round of the playoffs. Also, I wanted to give, or not this first round, sorry, the second round of the playoffs. I also want to give a little bit of a shout out to the Laval Rocket, who went 54-11-7 with at least a 10-game winning streak to end the season, and they've already gone through their first round opponents. So this is looking like it's going to be a pretty good season for the Montreal Canadiens organization. But let's see how it goes here in the NHL against the Toronto Maple Leafs. I'm hopeful, guys. I'm really hopeful. I think we got this. First period. And it's scoreless after 1, but the Leafs are pouring on the shots. Shots 16-8 in favor of the Leafs. We're trailing a bit here, but I think we can bounce back. Okay. we're not trailing, but we're trailing in shots, and that's just scary to me, okay? I don't want to go down to the Leafs. I'm just afraid to go down to this powerful of a team. I think they're our real opponent here. Second period. And scores are 1 apiece. Matthews opens the scoring for the Leafs and in this game in general. And then Sean Farrell just over a minute later ties it up for your Montreal Canadiens. Leafs are almost double out shooting us. Shots 29-15 in favor of them, but the score is currently even, 1 apiece. So Cayden Primo is really playing stellar for us. He's continuing that stellar gameplay. Let's see if it continues again into this third period as we get underway, and John Tavares immediately notches a goal for the Toronto Maple Leafs. Can we bounce back and tie it up? Oh, Max Jones adds another for the Leafs. That's a bit of a dagger there. They are still pouring on the shots. Shot 37-22 at the 8-minute mark of the game. We get a power play here. Can we convert? We do not. With just under 2 minutes to go now, let's see what happens, and we don't bounce back. We get goal lead as the Leafs win this one 3-1. We did bounce back in the shots. Shots were 38-31, but it was too little too late for us as we drop game 1 of the second round to the Toronto Maple Leafs. So that's unfortunate. But I'm sure we'll bounce back here. I don't think we need to make any line changes. I think the team is ready to go. Let's see what happens here. All right, game 2, still at the Bell Center here in Montreal. First period. And it's 1 apiece after 1. Tyler Bertuzzi opens the scoring for the Toronto Maple Leafs, but then Elias Pettersson for your Montreal Canadiens ties it up. Once again, the Leafs are double out shooting us by more than double, 16-7 after 1. I'm surprised the score is only 1-1. I feel like the Leafs should have at least got 2 on Primo there, but that just shows the level of the caliber of gameplay he's been displaying in these playoffs. Second period. All right, and Nick Robertson puts the Leafs up 2-1, but then Elias Pettersson with a power play, he says, nay, I'm keeping this one even, and ties it up once again for your Montreal Canadiens. And the Leafs are still very close to out shooting us by double, 32-17 in favor of the Toronto Maple Leafs. But we still have this one tied. Woll is doing good. Primo is just doing better. Let's hope that this team can rally around him and his stellar performance and put some pucks in the net past Joe Woll. Let's see if we can get creative here. Going into the third period, we get a power play right off the bat, but it's immediately killed off. It seems like back and forth hockey right now, exchanging shots on the frequency, and then Juraj Slavkovsky makes it 3-2 for your Montreal Canadiens. Under 8 minutes to go now in this third period. Can we keep this lead, even if it's just a 1-goal lead? We gotta play defensively. Come on. They're pouring on the shots here, and we shut the door. Cayden Primo is almost unbeatable. He allows 2 goals on 47 shots, but Joe Woll allowed 3 on 29, and your Montreal Canadiens walk out of the Bell Center, headed to Toronto for Game 3, tied 1-1 in this series. What a good rally back. I wish we were as dominant as we were against the Tampa Bay Lightning, but this is still very solid performances by your Montreal Canadiens. So now in Toronto at the Scotiabank Arena for Game 3, we're ready to go here. Again, no lineup changes need to be made. Cayden Primo is playing great, so no goaltending changes. Let's see how we go. First period. And it's scoreless after 1, but your Montreal Canadiens are starting to get smothered by the Toronto Maple Leafs. Shots were 12-3 in favor of the Toronto Maple Leafs. And I'm, again, surprised that they don't even have just 1 on the board. Primo must have been dominated in that first period, and he didn't let a single thing past him. So hopefully we can rally again around his solid performance and get some pucks in the net. Second period. Okay, we did at least. John Tavares opens the scoring once again. The Leafs taking the scoring lead early in the game, just for Brendan Gallagher, the veteran on the 4th line, to notch a power play goal and tie this one up on the 11th shot of the game for the Montreal Canadiens. The Toronto Maple Leafs are nearing 30. We are being almost tripled in shots right now. We have to step up our game. They are pouring on the pressure. We need to get an edge here. We need to get an edge. Third period underway, slow simming this. Let's see, can we get another goal here? We're starting to pour on the shots a bit. I mean, we're exchanging them, but we're catching up. We're catching up quick. Look at that. Already at 22 to the 33. We're getting there. We're getting there. Under 5 minutes now to go in this third period. What will happen? Will it go to overtime? Nobody's going to get one past the netminders. No. Shot 35-28, but we are scoreless in that third period. Ken Primo is just doing everything possible to get us a 2-1 series lead here. We just need our forwards to contribute. I don't understand how they've gone so quiet this quickly, but hopefully we'll get some hope. We'll get some prayers going here. This team is gonna notch a goal here in overtime and win this game. Slow sim ×8. Let's see. Overtime period coming up. I won't jump in because there's no need to, because it's not an elimination game. We're almost even in shots. The Leafs have a power play, and it looks like they did convert on it. Matthew Nyes with a power play goal on Caden Primo, the 40th shot of the game for the Toronto Maple Leafs. We did catch up. It was 40-35, but the Leafs go into Game 4 with a 2-1 series lead. Now we know the Toronto Maple Leafs are going to want to close the door here. They're going to want to beat us here in Toronto once again, because they'd have the ability to send us home in Montreal at the Bell Center, and I don't want to give them that ability. Seth Shelley's back. Let me get him in the lines. All right, Seth Shelley's back. He's on that top line, and we are just around 10 days from Alex Newhook being able to return to the team, so it's definitely going to be after the second round here, but hopefully we'll make it through this second round, get onto the third round, and then Alex Newhook will be that added, almost like a trade deadline acquisition for us to boost us over whatever teams we have left. But that just starts with us getting past the Toronto Maple Leafs here. As I said, they're going to want to close this one out here in Game 4 and head back to the Bell Center with the ability to knock us out of the playoffs. We can't give them that opportunity. We have to tie it up here and then win in the Bell Center next game if we have any chance of going on to the conference finals. But again, it all starts here. First period. All right, and the Toronto Maple Leafs take an early 2-1 lead in this game. Goals by Robbie Fabry and Timothy Liljegren just under 3 minutes into the game. Put the Leafs up by 2, but then David Reinbacher tries to get us into this one, making it 2-1. We are finally out shooting the Leafs after the first period, so that's a good sign. We're definitely put on the pressure here. We got to up it, though. We got to go into another gear. We got to outshoot them by 3. Every one shot they take, we got to take 3, maybe even 4. Let's have some fun here. Second period. And that's what I'm talking about. Cole Caulfield gets on the board finally in this playoff round, followed by William Nylander, making it 3-2 for the Toronto Maple Leafs. But then Brendan Gallagher, the veteran on the fourth line, gets another, making it 3-3. And then Kirby Dach, I think that's his first goal of this postseason, makes it 4-3 for the Montreal Canadiens going into the third period. And we are out shooting them by 2. So we are definitely playing up now. We've got it going. I think Seth Shelley is really a big boost to this lineup. Let's see what happens here in the third period. ×8 simulation, and we add another one, Elias Pettersson, right off the bat. The Toronto Maple Leafs get a power play. Can we kill it off? We do not. It's just, actually we do. It's just right after that Morgan Riley gets one, and then Nick Robertson a few minutes later ties it up for the Toronto Maple Leafs. They kill off the power play there for us. Under 5 minutes now to go in this third period. We are pouring on the shots, but we need to get a go-ahead goal. We do not. We are going into overtime here in Game 4, hoping not to give the Leafs the edge and the ability to knock us out of this playoffs back at the Bell Center. Let's see what happens here. Overtime coming up. ×8 simulation. Can we get the edge? And the game's over. And it's Cole Caulfield, his second of the game, second of the series, and he wins it 6-5 for your Montreal Canadiens. Shots were 46-35, so it's a bit of a rough game for Caden Primo, but that's his first one of these playoffs. He's been dominant so far, and luckily we tie this playoff, this playoff round up at 2, headed back to the Bell Center. And as you can see, the Edmonton Oilers have swept the Minnesota Wild over in the West, so very, very interesting that the Oilers are probably going to... I see them making it all the way to the finals. If we were able to knock out the leading scorers in the Tampa Bay Lightning, then I see the Oilers being able to maybe make it all the way to the finals with their stacked team. But let's see. Game 5 here at the Bell Center here in Montreal. Can we win this one? Can we take a commanding 3-2 series lead? First period. And the Toronto Maple Leafs open the scoring and go up by 2 with goals by Robbie Fabry and David Kampf. Shots are 12-10 in favor of the Leafs as well. So it's more of a tighter game this time. Nobody's running away with the shot lead as much. But let's see if we can turn that around in the second period. Second period. Oh my gosh, and Caden Primo has finally cracked. John Tavares notches another in the second period, followed by back-to-back goals by Austin Matthews, and then another in the dying minute of the second period by Tyler Bertuzzi, and it is 6-0 for the Toronto Maple Leafs over your Montreal Canadiens. Shots are 26-22, so Primo has broken a bit here. That's unfortunate. I think the Leafs have put this one safely away, but let's see. ×8 simulation here in the third period. Can we bounce back and tie this up? And it starts here. David Reinbacher with 1 goal at the 17:36 mark. Minutes are passing by fast, though. We need more. Not by them, though. Fabien Lysell gets his first of this round, if I'm not mistaken, against Olivier Rodrigue, who's playing his first minutes in these playoffs. And it looks like the Leafs are going to take this one by a score of 7-1. So a very unfortunate showing by your Montreal Canadiens here at the Bell Center in Montreal. And now the Leafs are back at the Scotiabank Arena with the ability to win it and send us home again. And I swear to God, we can't have that happen. I think we're good. I don't know what line changes I would necessarily make because everyone's doing fairly well. Maybe bumping... I don't know. I don't want to bump down Slavkovsky because he's doing good. 8 points in 9 games. Well, maybe he's slowed down a bit. Maybe we do something like this. Slavkovsky, Farrell, and Dak on the third line. Mizak, Pettersson, Waugh on the second line. We'll see if maybe that changes things up. And then it looks like Barron and Hudson are struggling on that first pair. So we'll do Hudson and Falk on that first pair and Xhekaj and Barron on the third pair. And we'll see. I don't think we need to change up Caden Primo. He's had 2 rough games, but I think he's going to bounce back here. We have the ability to tie this up or go home. It all depends on how we respond here at the Scotiabank Arena in Game 6 of the second round of the 2027 Stanley Cup playoffs. Let's go. First period. All right, Fabien Lysell opens the scoring for the Leafs, but then Justin Barron and Seth Shelley with a power play goal make it 2-1 for your Montreal Canadiens. They are out shooting us by 3 times. Shots 18-6. Somehow we've gotten 2 past Joe Woll. He must be having a slow game. Let's see if we can capitalize on that. Going into the second period here with the hopes and dreams on the line, we need to beat the Leafs here if we have any chance of going on to the conference finals and getting just plain vengeance against the Toronto Maple Leafs. We can't go home twice to them. Second period. Oh my God. That's the Austin Matthews show. Matthews opens the scoring in the second period with a power play goal. Jan Mizak retaliates for the Montreal Canadiens. Then Matthews gets his second of the game, where Slavkovsky retaliates for the Montreal Canadiens. And then Matthews gets his third and fourth of the game, making it 5-4 for the Toronto Maple Leafs. Shots 26-16 for the Leafs as well after the second period. And they have pushed us to the ropes. We're trailing by 1 going into the third. Primo has been Swiss cheese for the Leafs. They've found his number. They've dominated him. I maybe should have put Rodrigue in net. But here's hoping that Primo finds his form again, becomes a brick wall. Here's hoping that Cole Caulfield, Juraj Slavkovsky, Elias Pettersson and his $13.5 million salary push us over the edge and tie this game up and take the lead to tie this series. Let's see. Third period underway, ×8 simulation. We got to fight, and not that way. Timothy Liljegren makes it 6-4 for the Toronto Maple Leafs, and it's looking like your Montreal Canadiens season is on the line here. Power play for the Leafs is killed off with under 7 minutes now to go in this third period. It is looking like it. I think your Montreal Canadiens are out of this one. We will jump in quickly and see if they can fight back, but I think this is pretty much over. Just over 3 minutes to go in this third period. We gotta hope for some magic here, some sort of clutch, and losing the faceoff is not gonna start that momentum. Matthews over across the line, pass it to Marner. Marner gets a shot. Primo stops the initial shot, and then the rebound goes wide of the net. Slavkovsky's gonna carry it across. He's gonna do some fancy moves and loses the puck to Timothy Liljegren, who's gonna skate it out for the Leafs. Pass it up to Matthews. He's in on 2 Montreal Canadiens defenders. Takes a shot, and Primo almost fumbles that one into the net, or at least almost coughs it up to Mitch Marner right out in front of the net. 2 minutes and 40 seconds to go in this third period. Leafs ahead by 2 still. We gotta hope for some offensive pressure here to get the goalie pulled, maybe convert, maybe get a goal. It all starts here. Slavkovsky across to Farrell, who doesn't get it past Woll. Woll smothers that for the faceoff. Just under 2.5 minutes here to go. Leafs win that faceoff. Matthews is now going to carry it in the defensive zone for his team. Pass it up to Nylander, who's going to rip it up the left wing now. Is he going to set up a perfect goal? No, he is bumped off the puck. Slavkovsky turns it up to Kirby Dach, who's in over the Leafs line. He tries to pass it up to the slot, and Mitch Marner intercepts it. The Leafs are going for a line change here. Falk intercepts that chip pass by Matthew Knies. He passes it out in front, and it's almost sniped into the net, but instead stopped. Woll is sharp as ever with just over 2 minutes to go in this third period. Your Montreal Canadiens really got to put on the effort here if we have any chance of making it to the conference finals. We just got to keep up the pressure. We just got to keep it going. The Leafs are a powerful team and they're showing it, but we gotta be dominant here. We gotta be dominant. We win the faceoff. Hudson with a shot is just tipped wide by, I believe, the lower pad of Joe Woll. Hudson tries to put it up, but it's coughed over. Now Sesheli comes up with the puck, passes it to Cole Caulfield, who skates it in over the line. He's going for that perfect shot. It's deflected off the blocker of Joe Woll. Puck is almost turned over, and now it is Sesheli coming up with the puck. He's going to try to carry that one in. It looks like, yes, he is. He passed it over to Cole Caulfield, over to Suzuki, but it's intercepted by the Leaf defenseman, Morgan Riley. And now it's coughed over to Nick Suzuki. He's carrying it up, but then he coughs it over to John Tavares. Just under a minute and a half here to go in the third period. Your Montreal Canadiens are struggling here on life support. We need to get some goals going. We need to get some shots going if we have any hope. But Matthew Knies takes a shot on Caden Primo. Puck almost slides into the net, but it's shot up to Waugh. Empty net for the Montreal Canadiens. Waugh is carrying it over. It's intercepted by Matthews. Nylander coming out. He carries it over the line, and it's almost... oh my gosh, it is deflected off Gooley. He goes back for the puck. It's back up to Waugh now, carrying it up. Pass it to Mysak. Mysak, he's got a great shot. We know it. He takes a shot, and it's stopped. And now looks like the Leafs are getting a 2-minute penalty for interference with 51.9 seconds in this third period. We're going to be up 6-on-4 here on the Toronto Maple Leafs. Can we convert? If it was a 1-goal deficit, I'd be much more hopeful. It being a 2-goal deficit is a little scary. We got to really convert on our options here and on our shots. Power play for your Montreal Canadiens in the dying minute of the game. It's lost. Liljegren comes up with the puck. He dumps it out. It's picked up immediately by Mysak, who coughs it up to Jones. But Farrell gets it over to Pettersson. Pettersson's going to carry that up. Let's see. He gets it over to Caulfield. Caulfield up the slot. It's deflected just wide by the blocker. A slap shot by the defender is stopped. Or by Jan Mysak, sorry, is stopped. Farrell with under 30 seconds to go, pass it up to Mysak, who gets it up to Caulfield. Caulfield in over the line. He goes too fancy, loses it to Robertson, who passes it over to Kokkonen. Kokkonen gets it down, and that looks like it's it. Your Montreal Canadiens have unfortunately come up short against the Toronto Maple Leafs once again. Elias Pettersson with a shot, but it does not get past Joe Woll. Dying seconds of the period, and it is over for your Montreal Canadiens season here at the end of the 2026-2027 NHL season, and the Toronto Maple Leafs are on to the conference finals, once again beating out your Montreal Canadiens. Unfortunate way to end such a powerful, beautiful season for our players, but I don't know what we could have done differently aside from score more goals. Joe Woll has just had our number, and if we have any hope of getting past the Toronto Maple Leafs team, we gotta have some deep scoring on them, and it just did not happen this playoff round. And that's it for the 2026-2027 season for your Montreal Canadiens. It's a bit of a sad way to go, honestly. Sorry if I sound a little bit robotic while I'm doing the play-by-play. I get into it and I don't realize the weight behind it, but yeah, that's it. Unfortunately, we couldn't get over that final hurdle. The Leafs once again bested us. We had some great performances. The Leafs are going on to face, I believe, the Rangers. Yeah, the Leafs are facing the Rangers in that conference finals, and it's the Stars versus the Oilers in the Western Conference Finals. And I wish we would have had a better ending there. But you know what? A very solid season. Bounce back seasons for some of our defenders in Barron and Gooley, and a really good season for Caulfield, and an amazing season for Slavkovsky. Guys, we have 5 players over 90 overall, and I'm certain that Hudson's going to be in that category at the end, at the postseason. like in the off season. I mean, not the postseason. This is the postseason. In the off season, I think he's going to be great, but he does need a contract, and I'm assuming, yeah, he's still asking for the sun and the moon and the whole galaxy around it. So we're going to have to see what we can do. Maybe his price will drop at the re-sign phase. That's the only thing we can hope for now. Newhook, I think, is asking reasonably, but I don't know if we'll have the money to afford him. I would rather get Lane Hudson signed before I try to get Alex Newhook signed. Justin Falk is not going to be back with the team. We did give up quite a few assets for him, but we don't have the space for him. We have Hensler and Ezra Rabbit coming up next season, and we just don't have the space for any veteran defenseman. Olivier Rodrigue doesn't want to come back. He's only asking for a little bit, so I don't mind bumping that up to maybe like a 2-year, $2 million a year contract. I think that'll be fine under the cap, and we're going to be getting a cap bump too. I think it'll probably jump to around $97-98 million if it isn't there already. Yeah, probably $98 million. So I think we'll be fine. I'm going to offer him 2 years, $1.875 million, not $8.75 million. Oh my gosh, that'd be terrible. I don't think there's anyone really aside from Hudson to worry about. Jordan Harris, let's see if we can get him to a contract extension. Yep, 2 years, $875. That's fine by me. Arvid Xhekaj needs one. He doesn't want to come back. I think it might be time for us to move on from Arvid Xhekaj. I think that's just, I think that's how it's going to play out for us. Philip Mazar, he's probably not looking for a lot. Yep, 2 years, $875. That's fine. Give you a little bit of an incentive. Nobody there that is jumping out at me. Xavier Simoneau is probably going to play with the big club next year, so let's give him 2 years, $875 as well. Jack Finley, guess what you're going to get? Yeah, 2 years, $875. You already knew it. Thank you. Owen Beck, guess what you're going to get? 2 years, $875. That's perfect for me as well. And aside from that, we're gonna see what happens and how the offseason unfolds in the next video. This is going to be a wrap for this one. Thank you guys so much for joining me. I'm sorry that your Montreal Canadiens could not get over the hump, or that our Montreal Canadiens could not get over the hump, but hopefully they can next year around. We might make some offseason changes to free up some space and add some power. I know we just added power with Elias Pettersson, but I think we got to add some real power, some real, like, a complementary player. I don't know. Something in my mind is saying that there's one more piece missing from this team. If you guys think it's a defenseman, let me know. If you think it's a forward, let me know. I personally think it's a defender that we're missing, like a really top tier two-way defender to complement Lane Hudson on that right side. Maybe it'll be Hensler, maybe it'll be Reinbacher. I'm not sure. We will see in the next video what unfolds and what is available. But thank you guys. I will see you as we go through the 2027 NHL entry draft.